What is up guys, this is DSR here and today we are yet at it again with another video, and this time we're going to talk about BOLTREAVER ASTALOS, one of the latest monsters that's actually just hit the game. BOLTREAVER ASTALOS is one of the most amazing monsters that I've ever seen. Astalos itself is already such a cool monster, but now you have a flying dragon with blue thunder. Oh my god, that is an amazing monster to begin with. So alright guys, enough of me blabbering around. Let us just get into the video. So I'm gonna talk everything I know about BOLTREAVER ASTALOS, from what are his stats, from what is his armor, the genes we will get, the weapons, and of course, like always, in all my videos I would definitely talk about the skill sets and how we can capitalize on actually defeating BOLTREAVER ASTALOS, to be honest. Stats wise, I'm comparing BOLTREAVER to Kirin. I'm usually gonna compare all monsters to only Elder Dragons. I don't think it is a fair comparison to compare monsters with other normal monsters. Elder Dragons are a unique type of monsters that are one of a kind. They are the pinnacle of their chart, they must be the strongest. So I'm gonna compare all my future guide monsters to Elder Dragons. So I'm coming here with Kirin. I'm comparing both of them at level 50. So in terms of stats, we can definitely see that BOLTREAVER ASTALOS is slightly bulkier compared to Kirin. But in terms of stats, I'm actually quite impressed that BOLTREAVER is actually not falling that behind in terms of stats. As you can see, BOLTREAVER has an attack of 344 and with a defense of 336. While Kirin has an attack of 355 and a defense of 333. BOLTREAVER ASTALOS is slightly on the more bulkier side to that of Kirin. So stat wise, I must say, BOLTREAVER is actually looking good. Of course, you know what, I'm not gonna really compare BOLTREAVER ASTALOS to his younger brother ASTALOS. It is definitely an upgrade, it's a deviant. If you guys want to see it, here you guys go. This is the chart. I'm not going to compare stats for stats, but just in terms of chart, BOLTREAVER ASTALOS is better in all categories than ASTALOS, at least by a single point. Alright, now let's move on. And let's talk about some of the genes that BOLTREAVER ASTALOS has on himself. So BOLTREAVER ASTALOS has 3 different types of genes, which is Thunder Breath Gene XL, Thunder Strike Gene M, and Thunderclap Gene XL. The one that actually caught my attention is the Thunder Strike Gene M, which has the skill called Lightning Blade. It's an elective skill that only costs 15 kinship. What is it so good about is the fact that it deals a single target medium thunder damage to a single enemy with a medium chance to actually paralyze them for 3 turns. With that kind of low cost skill, it is extremely spammable and you can easily get paralysis because it's a 50-50 chance. Another one that really caught my attention is none other than the Thunderclap Gene XL, which the skill is called a Zero Voltage, or the Blue Lightning of Death. Which what it does is it moderately increases the thunder attack and defense for a freaking 5 turns and charge up power for 2 turns. I don't really know about the second portion, but the increase in thunder attack and defense for 5 turns is huge. You slap that into any single thunder monster that you're trying to build, maybe a Kirin, maybe a Rajang, or maybe, who knows, an Astalos, or I don't know, Kazu. But this is a must for every single monster, and I feel this is definitely a staple to power up those moves. So with that out of the way, let us now talk about how does the armor look like. So basically, for BOLTREAVER ASTALOS, it has a single armor, which actually the defense is 166 thunder and is weak to ice. Skill wise, it has 3 different kinds of skill, which actually brings my attention because these skill sets are pretty good if you pair them up together. So it has basically Soul Kinship XL, Vicious L, and Partner L. So basically, if you guys aren't that familiar with what each skill does, Soul Kinship XL basically lets you fill up your kinship gauge much faster. Vicious L is basically greatly increase hit-to-hit damage, and Partner L is if your HP is less than 50%, your kinship gauge will fill up even faster. Now, weapon wise, BOLTREAVER ASTALOS is a bit unique in terms of weapons because instead of the standard 3 to 4 weapons per monster, Bolt Reaver actually only has two. The first of them being Zephyr Gust, which is basically a bow with 148 lightning damage and 5% crit rate. Skill wise, it's a rapid fire and power coating. I'm not that fond of using rapid fire or power coating just because of the fact that they don't apply status effect. I prefer, status effects more. It's something like sleep, paralysis, but this bow is a good bow nevertheless. It doesn't really fall that short, but it's still decent. The second weapon is basically Zephyr Wingbeat. It is a hunting horn. Now, this is a little bit unique. Why do I say so? Attack wise is 147 electrical damage. Crit rate, it has 14% crit rate. It is the highest crit rate roll for all hunting horns as of now. Most hunting horns have 14% crit rate, and this is one of them. And to pair that up, it has skill tune. So what does skill? So the skill set for tune basically is an offensive skill set, being one of them increases all your elemental damage, the other increasing your crit rate, and the third one increasing your kinship. BOLTREAVER Astalos fight itself is a unique fight, and I enjoy the entire fight because of how they orchestrated it in a way that it keeps you on your toes most throughout the entire fight. So BOLTREAVER Astalos starts things out with a tactical. He will then use a couple of turns of tactical attacks, then after a while he will use a skill called Blue Bolt. Blue Bolt is basically a charging skill, and once he charged, you will see lightning all around him. During this phase, he can opt for 2 to 3 kind of patterns. The first one is just using a normal attack, which is a tactical skill. The second one is using a skill called Plasma Blaster, which is an AoE skill that targets basically everyone. And the third skill is called Lightning Blade. Now, the most important skill that we need to take note is Lightning Blade. The moment when BOLTREAVER Astalos uses Lightning Blade, he will then fly up to the sky. Every single time he uses Lightning Blade, he will fly up. Period. Attacks. So once after BOLTREAVER Astalos uses Lightning Blade, he will then fly up, and this mode I'll just call the flying mode. So once he's in his flying mode, this is where things get extremely tricky and difficult to deal with. Once he's flying, he would always use 2 attacks, and he will always hit twice. The skill that he can actually use, depending, is one of them is called Aerial Sting. It is basically a single target attack that has a high critical ratio. More often than not, I always get crit. The next skill is called Lightning Pulse, which is an AoE skill that deals damage to everyone. Third skill is called Plasma Strike, which is just a single target lightning breath. Individually, they are not that scary, but when combined, it is extremely scary. Especially when BOLTREAVER Astalos combines his skills in the sense of, let's say, he starts things out with a Lightning Pulse and follows up with a Plasma Strike. More often than not, you definitely see this combination, and once he does this combination, you better get ready for someone to die. It could be you, it could be your ally. Then it is more often than not. When I was playing this run, throughout the entire run, whenever he uses a Lightning Pulse and a Plasma Strike, I would always just get deleted. One of my units would just get deleted. It's either me or my battle buddy, There's no escaping it. Alright, so after he has used up, after a couple of turns, he would then go back to his normal mode. But then he starts changing his patterns. Then now he is, instead of a tactical, he is now a power user. Meaning to say that on his normal stage and his blue mode stage or his charge state, he is now using a power skill. Do note that he still have all of his skills there, meaning to say in his charge state he can still use Plasma Blaster for an AoE. In the flying stage he will still use those crazy attacks and has double attacks as well. And after that, after the next sequence, he will then go into a speed type attack. Meaning to say, normal, he will start using speed attacks, and on his charge state, speed attack. So this is his cycle. From tactical to power to speed, then back to tactical. So now we actually know what are some of his skill patterns. How are we supposed to deal with the most dangerous phase? which is the flying phase. Well, in all honesty, there's no easy way to deal with it, but just get your kinship gauge out. Simple as that. What I have fought him over the last 10 times, or yeah, about 10 times, is that his first two stage, which is the normal and the charge state, is the stage for you to build up your kinship gauge. You can use any monster, you can pet them, trigger dual attacks, build up your kinship gauge. And once he goes into the flying stage, if possible, chain kinship gauge with your battle buddy or with your ally, to avoid getting hit twice in a row. That is the best advice that I can give to you if you are unable to destroy his wings. And mind me, his wings are insanely difficult to destroy. I have no idea what are those wings made of. Steel? But yeah, that is the way that I can definitely advise you guys on how to deal with the most dangerous stage. So thank you so much guys for your time. This is basically what I have to share for BOLTREAVER Astalos, what are his stats, his genes, where is his weaknesses and his skill set, the most important thing. It's definitely a fun fight. It's definitely one of my like top fights that I love fighting against him. It's problematic, but it's fun. So I hope you guys have fun time hunting BOLTREAVER Astalos with your battle buddy, or you're doing so like me. Hope you guys have fun. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, which should be the Hellblaze Cleverness, if I'm not butchering the name. But you know, when I post the next video, you guys will know. So if you guys do enjoy this video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to see more of Monster Hunter World 2 content, Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Stories 2 content, do subscribe. I post them quite often on a weekly basis, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace and God bless. Stay safe.